Alright, so I went ahead and installed the shims that you sent me, one on each side. And I don't know what I was thinking the other day when I communicated with you on this. Initially, I was thinking that mounting the shims on both sides would shift my steering to the left, and with the wheel centered to the rack, or I should say with the rack centered to the spindles. And that's what I was thinking, and then I said the opposite to you in the last video as well as in my last email. So actually what I initially was saying is true, in that it would offset me to the left, which means looking at the tie rod end outer adjustment, you can see there's nowhere to go, and I haven't even adjusted it yet. And as you'll see, I'm steered to the left on the driver's side, so there's no way I can get this pulled in. I'm going to have to put both passenger shims on to be able to align this thing straight. Because right now I had the steering wheel straight, I should say centered to the rack inside the vehicle. I verified it again just to be sure. I'm centered to the rack. So now I know that the wheels should be straight, or they should be pointing right, so I can adjust away and still get a locking nut, or a jam nut as you called it, on my tie rod, because there's no way that jam nut's even going to fit in there. It would go past the threads right now, and I still don't even have any adjustment to pull this wheel in this direction. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and show you what we got here. We've got the one shim on the driver's side. Something I didn't discuss earlier, and I probably should have mentioned, this is design of the truck, at least on this year of frame, a 1984 frame. There's a button that actually sticks up 1/8 of an inch higher here on this rear mount. The frame is stamped that way, so I'm actually forcing this bracket down to be flush on the frame. You guys really should probably be using this mount up here and this mount down here, because this one's higher. These three appear to be the same height. As you can see, this frame's stamped with different heights in here, but these three appear to be the same. This one's not. So we really shouldn't even be using this one, because we're crushing the frame, and I've got cracks here, which I believe were from the original gearbox mounting. It must be a weak point, probably because it's the higher spot. It's stupid anyway. But anyway, so we go ahead and go and show you on the other side here how additionally we have the shim on the passenger side, with a 1/3/8 shim here. And as you can see, still we have a decent amount of thread, not a lot, but a decent amount of thread on the tie rod. So if we needed to pull this side in, we'd be okay, but we don't. We're actually pitched this direction right now. We're pitched to the driver's side, the left side. So we can adjust that away with this one and still get a jam nut in there, but we'll never do it on the driver's side. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull away, and you'll see how the wheels are turned to the left right now, which means I would need to push this side out, and I'd need to pull the driver's side in, and I have no space left to do that. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get up here, show you what we're dealing with. So looking at the truck from the front, it's gonna be hard to see my lighting here, and hopefully you can see how the wheels turned a little bit to the left. We go over to the driver's side, we'll see the same thing. We're turned, as you can see, turned to the left. So I'd have a lot of adjusting to compensate, and I don't have enough thread to do it. So there's no way I can have spacers on each side of the frame. It's going to have to all be on the passenger side. I don't have a problem with that, but we still need to address the high spot on the frame for the driver's side rear mounter, because otherwise you're just going to have people probably cracking their frame if they're not already cracked. I'm going to have to weld mine up. I don't want to really leave it loose. So anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the shims on the passenger side, and I'll get you a separate video for that.